February the 5th, 2017. In the last video, I promised to do an update on Fukushima. Information started coming in 6 days ago on these updates, and we're going to look at some of the images from the underwater robot that can move under the containment vessel, because now they have visual proof that Unit 2 is melted through, and there's massive deposits of this black oily looking substance that they think is the radiation. So we've got tons of this stuff spread out and into the water table underneath this, going into the ocean. We've known it, but now they have visual proof. First, let's look at this from Charles Sturt University. It's radiation doses, and it says 10,000 millisieverts, or millisieverts, which is 10 sieverts, is a short-term and whole-body dose would cause immediate illness, such as nausea and decreased white blood cell count, and death within few weeks. Between 2 and 10 sieverts in short-term dose would cause severe radiation sickness with increasing likelihood that it would be fatal. Now remember this, a lot of times you've seen these doses in the millisieverts, like 10,000, but 2 to 10 is likelihood that it would be fatal. These are short-term doses, so remember that. 1 sievert, or 1,000 millisieverts, in a short-term dose is about the threshold for causing immediate radiation sickness in a person of average physical attributes, but would be unlikely to cause death, but it would lead to a higher risk of ongoing cancer. And you can pause this and look at it. One thing, 50 millisieverts is conservatively the lowest dosage which there's any evidence of cancer being caused in adults. It's also the highest dose which is allowed by regulation in any 1 year of occupational exposure. Doses greater than the 50, again, millisieverts arise from natural background levels in several parts of the world, but do not cause any signs of harm. Now, what they're doing under reactor 2, with this robot that you're looking at, they're getting 530 sieverts per hour, not 1 or 2. But this breaks the records, guys, that when it happened, they were getting around 300 that they could measure after the tsunami came in and you had the meltdown. But we'll look at a couple of images, and it happened quick that day. There was a major explosion when they lost power because of the tsunami and earthquake, and everything overheated. They're saying that it has melted through the grating, and these tons, and I mean tons of radioactive material are scattered throughout and again into the underground water. It says the searing radiation level was described as unimaginable, far exceeds the previous high of 73 sieverts measured there before, and again they had not been able to get up under it. It said it would render operations inoperable in less than 2 hours. Any robots or anything like that would burn out, not humans. They couldn't take it, the exposure, period. But these robots that are set in here can go for about 10 hours. But at this one, it said in less than 2 hours, it would be inoperable. The radiation would destroy it. It says the black masses deposited on the grating directly under the pressure vessel. Says it was captured using a camera to a telescopic arm on that day. It says showed parts of the grating were missing. Further analysis found the 2-meter hole in an area beyond the missing section of the structure. Through the vessel, through the grating. If the deposits are confirmed to be melted fuel, it would be the first time the utility has found any of it at the 3 reactors that suffered core meltdowns. It has been a mess since day one. It says they plan to send a robot in again March 1st, while its survey plan for Reactor 2 remains unclear because of the high radiation levels. And they're admitting, guys, that they have not developed the technology yet to clean this up. We've seen it for years. We've seen the impact on the West Coast, and we have seen the denial from mainstream. Maybe with the new president. He's got his hands full right now, but this needs to get very close to the top of the list. And forget about the fake global warming. And let's look at this as the Commerce Secretary Penny Pritzker today determined there are commercial fishery failures for 9 salmon and crab fisheries in Alaska, California, and Washington. Timestamp January 18th. It was updated on the 19th. But the reason she's doing is because it affects so many people's livelihood that they can declare for federal assistance in this case. And so at least they're stepping up there. Now, what they're saying is due to unusual ocean and climate conditions. But now they are measuring, and guys, if you'll look at the link to E&E News that I'll show you and link to, you can see that they've been measuring very high radiation doses off the entire west coast of North America. So here's a list of some of the fisheries. Gulf of Alaska pink salmon. It was experienced sudden and unexpected decreases in fish stock biomass or loss of access due to unusual ocean and climate conditions. Decision enables fishing community to seek disaster relief from Congress. Again, look at it. Gulf of Alaska, pink salmon. California, Dungeness and rock crab fisheries. You can see the dates. The Uruk tribe, Klamath River, Chinook salmon fishery. Pause it. Goes on and on. And just a couple of the other headlines. Again, breaking nuclear fuel found beneath containment vessel at Fukushima. Parts inside reactor no longer there. Search barely begun for fuel that burned through. Workers probe underwater below plant for molten cores. That's what you've seen some of these pictures of. But this information on the West Coast, guys, we knew it was coming, and we've been reporting on it for years, actually. But look at these TEPCO plants there before. Those are molten fuel rods down in these pools. Cranes above it. You can see a couple of people walking on the left there. And they're in protective suits. These are normal conditions. But on that day of this quake, when we tracked an X-flare leave the sun a couple of days before and strike the earth when Japan was about 2:30 or 2:45 in the afternoon, directly sun-facing, that X-flare struck us, and this quake occurred. But that's what it looked like after the explosion, after the tsunami. Inoperable. And so radioactive, guys, that they cannot get near it. They don't have the technology yet. What does it mean? That means that they had no plan B. They knew the scenario because we had Chernobyl, the meltdown there, and the containment that was forced, the evacuations that were forced, the ongoing radiation there. But there was no plan B. It seems to be a typical, situation when we talk about major technological disasters. No plan B. I can name a couple other major technological advances. There are so-called advances that can end up this way. We'll see. But guys, this again, just an update to keep you aware of it. And if anyone has access to anybody within or has contact with anybody that is inside the present U.S. administration, it would be good if you could get it to them and let them become aware of it, and maybe it will get to the top of the list, because they're going to need all the assistance that the entire planet can give them to save the planet. The Pacific Ocean is a third of the waters. It's a heads up. Be safe.